From Ancient Worlds to Modern Times, The Global Journey. Introduction. History, a word that evokes images of dusty textbooks, endless dates, and names long forgotten. Yet, history is far more than a collection of facts. It is the story of humanity, the struggles, the triumphs, the innovations, and the dreams that have shaped our world across millennia. Welcome to From Ancient Worlds to Modern Times, The Global Journey. Too often, history is taught as rote memorization, stripping it of its excitement, its drama, its human essence. But when we step beyond poor school teaching, history transforms. It becomes a living story, one that can thrill, inspire, and reveal the very essence of who we are today. Dawn of Civilization, Mesopotamia. The cradle of civilization. Our journey begins in Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this region gave rise to humanity's first cities, the earliest systems of writing, and innovations that still influence our lives today. In cities like Uruk and Ur, the first organized governments emerged, codifying laws and creating a social order that allowed complex communities to thrive. The Sumerians invented the wheel, revolutionizing transport, and developed cuneiform, one of the earliest forms of writing, recording trade, laws, and stories for future generations. Interview clip. Archaeologist explaining the significance of Hammurabi's code and early city governance. Mesopotamia's people understood the value of trade, agriculture, and innovation. They engineered irrigation systems to control the unpredictable rivers, ensuring food security and allowing cities to grow. In these developments, the blueprint of modern civilization was first drafted. Ancient Egypt, the land of pharaohs. South of Mesopotamia, along the life-giving Nile, arose another marvel of ancient human achievement, Egypt. Its pharaohs ruled with divine authority, constructing monumental pyramids and temples that have withstood the millennia, testaments to their engineering genius and spiritual devotion. Egyptian society thrived on agriculture, benefiting from the Nile's predictable floods. Their innovations in writing, mathematics, medicine, and architecture shaped not only their civilization but also influenced neighboring cultures for centuries. Interview clip. Egyptologist discussing the cultural and scientific achievements of ancient Egypt, emphasizing the significance of hieroglyphs and monumental architecture. The Egyptians believed that life extended beyond death, and their burial practices, mummification, and monumental tombs reflect a profound understanding of art, science, and spirituality. These elements made Egypt not only a powerful kingdom but also a civilization that has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. Indus Valley Civilization, cities of innovation. Far to the east, along the fertile plains of the Indus River, the Indus Valley Civilization flourished. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt or the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, the cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were planned with meticulous precision, with grid layouts, advanced drainage systems, and standardized bricks. Trade was central to their society. Evidence of long-distance trade with Mesopotamia reveals a network of exchange that connected civilizations, spreading ideas, goods, and culture across vast distances. Interview clip. Expert on urban planning and trade, discussing how the Indus Valley influenced later societies in South Asia. The Indus Valley Civilization demonstrates that advanced urban life and complex societies did not emerge in isolation. These early cities represent humanity's enduring quest to create order, prosperity, and connection, a quest that continues to shape our modern world. Classical civilizations. Ancient Greece. From the fertile plains of Greece emerged a civilization whose influence would resonate through time. Ancient Greece, though fragmented into city-states, pioneered the principles of democracy, philosophy, science, and art. Athens became the cradle of democracy. Citizens gathered in open forums, debating ideas that shaped governance and civic responsibility. Meanwhile, Sparta was renowned for its military discipline and social structure, demonstrating the diversity of Greek political and cultural life. Philosophy flourished. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle questioned the nature of reality, ethics, and governance. Their ideas formed the bedrock of Western thought, influencing centuries of intellectual pursuit. Interview clip. Historian discussing Greek contributions to science, mathematics, and civic ideals. Art and architecture reflected a pursuit of perfection. The Parthenon, sculpted statues, and dramatic plays combined aesthetics with intellectual depth, embodying a civilization that sought harmony between reason and beauty. The Greeks also valued exploration and storytelling. Myths, epics like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, and oral traditions preserved cultural values, morals, and collective memory, weaving the fabric of Greek identity. Ancient Rome. Rome built upon the foundations of Greece, extending knowledge through engineering, law, and governance. From a small city on the Tiber River, Rome grew into an empire that spanned continents, uniting diverse peoples under a common legal and cultural framework. Roman law codified rights and obligations, influencing legal systems to this day. Their innovations in architecture, arches, domes, amphitheaters, and infrastructure, including aqueducts and roads, allowed cities to thrive and ideas to spread. Interview clip. Expert on Roman engineering and law explaining the empire's enduring legacy. Rome's expansion was not without challenges. Conflicts, political intrigue, and cultural integration shaped a civilization that balanced conquest with administration, leaving a mark that would endure long after the empire fell. Ancient China. In the East, China developed one of the longest-lasting civilizations in history. Ancient dynasties such as the Zhou, Qin, and Han brought philosophical, political, and technological advancements that shaped not only China but the broader world. Confucianism guided social ethics and governance, emphasizing hierarchy, duty, and education. Taoism and Buddhism offered spiritual frameworks, influencing daily life and culture. China's inventions, paper, printing, gunpowder, the compass, and silk, revolutionized trade, communication, and exploration. The Silk Road connected China to Europe and the Middle East, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. Interview clip. Historian discussing the global impact of Chinese innovations and trade networks. From governance and philosophy to science and art, ancient China exemplified the integration of intellectual, spiritual, and practical achievements, laying a foundation for centuries of cultural continuity and influence. Ancient India and South Asia. In South Asia, civilizations like the Maurya and Gupta empires flourished, contributing greatly to art, science, philosophy, and mathematics. From the concept of zero to the decimal system, India's innovations spread globally, influencing trade, astronomy, and education. Religion and philosophy were central. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism shaped ethical, spiritual, and social life. Temples, stupas, and cave paintings reveal an advanced understanding of art, architecture, and devotion. Interview clip. Expert discussing India's contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and urban planning. Trade networks extended from India to the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and beyond. Spices, textiles, and ideas moved along these routes, connecting South Asia to a larger global community. Summary: Classical civilizations. Classical civilizations demonstrate the power of human innovation, governance, and culture. Despite geographical and cultural differences, they shared a common pursuit: to understand the world, create beauty, and build systems that endure beyond their lifetimes. Medieval civilizations. Medieval Europe. As the classical civilizations faded, a new chapter emerged: medieval Europe. From the fall of Rome to the rise of kingdoms and empires, Europe experienced both turbulence and creativity. Feudalism defined society, a hierarchy of kings, lords, knights, and peasants interconnected through land, duty, and loyalty. Religion shaped everyday life. Christianity guided moral values, governance, and education. Monasteries preserved knowledge, copying manuscripts that would otherwise have been lost to time. Despite wars and plagues, art and culture flourished. Gothic architecture soared with pointed arches, stained glass, and intricate sculptures. Universities emerged, nurturing learning in philosophy, law, and medicine. Interview clip. Historian discussing the role of medieval universities in the preservation of classical knowledge. Trade expanded, connecting distant regions. Italian city-states like Venice and Florence became hubs of commerce, wealth, and culture, sowing seeds for the Renaissance to come. Islamic Golden Age. While Europe experienced the Middle Ages, the Islamic world flourished during its Golden Age. From the 8th to the 14th centuries, scholars in cities like Baghdad, Cordoba, and Cairo advanced science, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad became a center of knowledge. Scholars preserved classical Greek and Roman texts, adding innovations in algebra, chemistry, astronomy, and medicine. Their discoveries would eventually flow into Europe, sparking new intellectual awakenings. Interview clip. Expert on the Islamic Golden Age discussing contributions to mathematics, medicine, and navigation. Architecture and art also thrived. Intricate geometric designs, calligraphy, and grand mosques reflected the integration of faith and intellectual pursuit. The Islamic Golden Age demonstrates that knowledge and innovation can flourish even amidst political change, leaving a legacy that connects East and West. Africa. In Africa, powerful kingdoms and empires rose, thriving through trade, culture, and learning. The Mali Empire, Ghana, and Great Zimbabwe became centers of wealth, knowledge, and artistry. Timbuktu, a city in Mali, became a beacon of learning. Scholars wrote manuscripts on astronomy, law, medicine, and theology. Libraries and universities preserved knowledge, attracting students from across the continent and beyond. Interview clip: African historian on Mali Empire's intellectual and economic significance. Trade connected Africa to Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Gold, salt, and other commodities facilitated cultural exchange, showing that Africa was an integral part of a connected medieval world. Medieval Africa challenges misconceptions of isolation. It was vibrant, interconnected, and culturally rich, contributing to the global tapestry of history. Summary: Medieval civilizations. The medieval era reveals a world of contrasts, kingdoms and empires, faith and knowledge, conflict and creativity. Across Europe, the Islamic world, and Africa, societies navigated challenges and advanced ideas that would shape the next epoch, the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration. Renaissance and Age of Exploration. Renaissance Europe. After the medieval era, Europe experienced a rebirth, Renaissance, a period of intellectual, artistic, and cultural revival. Between the 14th and 17th centuries, thinkers, artists, and inventors rekindled the spirit of classical Greece and Rome, blending it with contemporary creativity. Humanism emerged, emphasizing the potential of individuals and the pursuit of knowledge. Education, science, and philosophy flourished, expanding horizons and challenging old dogmas. Art transformed with realism, perspective, and emotion. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa and Vitruvian Man, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling, and Raphael's masterpieces illustrated humanity's quest for understanding and beauty. Interview clip: Art historian discussing Renaissance innovation and its influence on modern art and architecture. Science advanced alongside art. Galileo challenged assumptions about the cosmos, Copernicus proposed a heliocentric universe, and inventors like Gutenberg revolutionized communication with the printing press, spreading knowledge faster than ever before. The Renaissance demonstrates that curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking can transform society, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire innovation and exploration. Age of Exploration. Building on Renaissance knowledge, Europe embarked on an era of discovery, the Age of Exploration. Navigators, merchants, and adventurers crossed oceans, seeking trade, wealth, and knowledge, connecting continents in unprecedented ways. Explorers like Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, and Vasco da Gama charted unknown waters. These voyages facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture across continents. Trade networks expanded dramatically. Europe imported spices and textiles from Asia, Africa supplied gold and other commodities, and the Americas provided crops that would change diets worldwide. Interview clip: Historian explaining the global impact of exploration on trade, culture, and geopolitics. Yet exploration came with challenges and consequences. Encounters with indigenous peoples, the spread of disease, and colonization shaped societies and demographics in ways still felt today. Early colonization and cultural exchange. Colonization transformed the world. Europeans established settlements across the Americas, Africa, and Asia, exchanging goods, ideas, and culture, but often at great human cost. New crops, technologies, and knowledge moved across continents. Coffee from Africa, sugar from the Americas, and spices from Asia reshaped diets, economies, and daily life across the globe. Interview clip: Expert on early globalization discussing both positive and negative impacts of colonial expansion. The Age of Exploration reminds us that the world is interconnected. Ideas, goods, and people have always crossed borders, influencing societies in complex and lasting ways. Summary: Renaissance and Age of Exploration. The Renaissance rekindled the human spirit, inspiring exploration, art, and science. The Age of Exploration connected continents, laying the foundation for a globalized world. Together, these periods demonstrate humanity's insatiable curiosity and ability to shape its own destiny. Modern era and globalization. Industrial Revolution. The 18th and 19th centuries brought a dramatic transformation, the Industrial Revolution. Machines replaced manual labor, steam engines powered factories, and cities expanded as people flocked to work. Humanity's relationship with technology and productivity changed forever. Inventions like the steam engine, spinning jenny, and telegraph revolutionized production and communication. These innovations accelerated trade, reshaped economies, and created new social classes, industrialists, workers, and urban populations seeking opportunity. Interview clip: historian explaining the societal impact of industrialization on urban life, labor, and global economies. Yet, industrialization also brought challenges: poor working conditions, environmental changes, and social inequality. Humanity learned that progress carries responsibility. Political revolutions and nation building. The modern era was also shaped by revolutions, struggles for freedom, equality, and self-determination. From the American Revolution to the French Revolution, people challenged monarchies and oppressive systems, laying the foundations of modern democracies. Nation building and reform reshaped the world map. Countries like Germany and Italy unified, while colonies sought independence, demonstrating humanity's enduring quest for identity, governance, and justice. World wars and global conflict. The 20th century witnessed unprecedented conflict. World wars reshaped borders, economies, and societies, leaving deep scars and prompting efforts for peace and cooperation. Interview clip: expert on global conflicts discussing how war accelerated technological and social change. Yet, from tragedy arose lessons. International organizations and treaties sought to prevent future wars, reflecting humanity's desire to learn from the past and build a cooperative global society. Globalization and modern connectivity. Today, globalization connects every corner of the globe. Trade, communication, and culture flow faster than ever. Innovations in transportation, the internet, and digital technology allow ideas, goods, and people to interact across continents in real time. Global challenges, climate change, pandemics, and economic inequality highlight our shared responsibility. The story of humanity is no longer isolated, it is collective, intertwined, and global. Interview clip: economist or sociologist discussing the benefits and challenges of globalization, including cultural exchange, trade, and environmental concerns. Modern history teaches us that progress is not linear. It is a journey of discovery, conflict, innovation, and connection. Each era builds upon the last, shaping a world that is at once familiar and ever-changing. Conclusion: from the dawn of civilization along the Nile, Tigris, and Indus rivers, to the digital age that connects billions today, history is the story of humanity striving, learning, and creating. Every invention, every city, every idea carries forward the legacy of those who came before. History is not just the past. It is a guide, a mirror, and an inspiration. By understanding where we have been, we gain insight into who we are and the world we are shaping for the future. So step beyond textbooks, explore ruins, study manuscripts, visit museums, and listen to stories from around the world. Discover the excitement of history, and let it change your perspective on the present.